dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A drug investigation in Pike County brought 9 suspected dealers to the detention center today as the Pikeville Police Department continues its mission to clean up the streets. WYMT's Buddy Forbes joined officers for the roundup.
The Pikeville Police Department is hitting the streets.
We've got a really, really good chief. He's out doing it with us.
Working to clean them up.
You're getting drug traffickers off the street. We get calls every day about somebody dealing drugs in my neighborhood.
After months of investigating, officers gathered Wednesday rounding up suspects.
There's no guesswork with this. They have been watched or videoed.
Acting on sealed indictments to arrest the people they believe are cycling drugs out into the community.
I call them victims because that's what they are. They're victims of people like this guy we just got.
Knocking, searching, walking into the unknown.
We're on their territory. There is no way to get an edge or a tactical edge.
Relying on the fruits of their investigations.
Try to cross our T's and dot our I's before we go.
Leaning on the team they built.
That's the thing we say every day. Everybody go home. Everybody goes home today. Everybody goes home today. Bad guy goes to jail, good guys go home.
Giving the crisis a face.
It's probably gonna be heroin.
You know, your neighbor could be a part of what's going on, and that's one thing we rely on is the public to make sure they're calling, letting us know that there's a lot of traffic at a residence or an apartment. That way we can kind of look into it.
To make the city a safer place.
You know, the streets will be a little bit safer tonight. Of course, they'll possibly get out, but we'll just go back to work again tomorrow when we'll start all over.
One round at a time. In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Officer Tony Kahn says the department remains dedicated to serving the community, and this type of work is one of the biggest ways they can do that. He says if you suspect someone of trafficking in the city, you should contact the police department. At a Savagesville City Council meeting in late October, Councilman Colin Ray Jackson used a racial slur, prompting shock from those in the room and later outrage on social media. Savagesville Mayor Pete Shepard told WYMT at the time that the comments do not accurately reflect his community and that he believed there needed to be consequences for the comment. Shepard called on Jackson to resign, but Jackson refused, setting up a council meeting tonight that will decide if he can remain on the council. Shepard outlined the process the meeting will follow.
We have a public hearing. It will be presided over by our city attorney. I recuse myself because I've asked Mr. Jackson to resign twice, and I didn't feel like it'd be fair if I presided over the meeting.
The meeting is taking place in just a little bit at 6:30 and will not involve public comment, but Mr. Jackson and the other council members will have an opportunity to speak. We will have a reporter there and have the results tonight at 11 and on WYMT.com. Kentucky State Police in Harlan reported 2 stolen cars in the Cold Iron area. Take a look at your screen. Police say AXP Energy called them this morning after they say 2 cars were stolen from their business. The missing vehicles are a tan Toyota Tundra and a white Chevy Silverado. If you have any information on these stolen trucks, you're asked to call police. Also in Harlan County, police are asking for the public's help finding a wanted man. State police say 29-year-old Jonathan Mitchell from Cranks has several active warrants. They say he is 5 feet 6 inches tall and has green eyes. He's wanted in Harlan County for criminal mischief, wanton endangerment, criminal trespassing, leaving the scene of an accident, and assault.
Highs remaining above normal today thanks to plenty of sunshine out there, but we're already starting to see some changes in the mountains here tonight. US 119 camera at Pine Mountain showing, well, we're already past the sunset hour at this point, and we're continuing to see those clouds on the increase as well. London Corbin Airport camera sitting at 61 right now at the airport and noticing some of those high clouds continuing to move in as we switch to night mode right there into the black and white mode. Temperatures continue to stay on the warm side. Mid-60s Jackson, low to mid-60s just about everybody but Monticello. It's 52 right now and it's 56 into Middlesboro. Satellite and radar a clean sweep precip wise, but we're going to continue to see those clouds increase as we head into tonight. Temperatures staying on the milder side tonight. Low 50s, and some of us could see those temperatures rise overnight. I'll have the details on our big fall front headed our way tomorrow, coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. State leaders gather today to get their COVID-19 booster shots at a vaccine clinic. WYMT's Dakota Makris explains why they decided to roll up their sleeves for the booster.
A big day for state leaders at the Capitol Rotunda.
Before we start, let's remember that we're not just battling for the lives and the health of our people, we're battling for our future because we have an economy on fire.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, Governor Andy Beshear's senior advisor Rocky Adkins, and Senator David P. Givens, among others, received their COVID-19 booster shot.
Some studies suggest 80% of people out there, certainly over 18, will qualify for a booster.
The Lieutenant Governor saying she got the booster shot to protect the most vulnerable people, including her 21-month-old daughter, saying her 3 older kids are vaccinated.
And will be boosted as soon as they can, and that leaves us with one who is not yet cleared to get the vaccine, and that little member of Team Kentucky means a whole lot to us.
At Wednesday's vaccine clinic, more than 200 people received a booster.
6 months after getting your first shot, I believe everybody should be able to get a booster because waning immunity is real, and we want to lessen the spread.
The governor saying younger people need to become vaccinated.
We see 30-year-olds passing away, and that age group isn't signing up enough. We lost an 11-year-old on yesterday's report. So while that is rare, nobody wants it to be their 11-year-old. I have an 11-year-old.
Rolling up their sleeves to do their part. In Frankfort, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The governor said he is praying for the family of that 11-year-old. He encourages Kentuckians to light their homes green to show compassion for those who've lost a loved one to COVID. And we are tracking how long it took Kentucky to reach 10,000 COVID deaths. We marked that milestone earlier this week. 1,000 Kentuckians died from the virus less than 200 days into the pandemic. We reached 6,000 deaths after a state backlog was released. The rate slowed down some after hitting 7,000, but in the last couple of months with that Delta variant, the numbers sharply increased to now above 10,000 deaths. The 2021 Kentucky Kids County Data Book is out for the public to read. For more than 30 years, the county data allows readers and leaders to investigate areas in which Kentucky and its counties are making progress. It also helps leaders look into areas needing focused attention for improvement. Although state trends are looking good in some areas, the same cannot be said about minority groups living in Kentucky.
With Black and Latinx families disproportionately impacted by racially targeted housing and discriminatory practices are actually more likely to experience housing instability. And this is highly aggravated by the pandemic that's going on.
I'm not the only young person who has been removed from a biological parent because of lack of community support. And with that being said, it is a pleasure being here today to express the importance of this data book release.
The publication highlights data in 4 domains of child well-being: economic security, education, health, and family and community. A traffic alert for some drivers in eastern Kentucky. The traffic pattern is changing along a portion of the Mountain Parkway in Magoffin County. Crews, of course, are working to expand the parkway in that area. That project began 4 years ago. Starting today, the parkway between mile markers 68 and 69 will go from 3 lanes down to 2. Drivers are asked to be careful in that area. After 5 years of frustration, drivers on Highway 15 in Perry County woke up to a different sight this morning. WYMT's Corey Sanning spoke with officials about the final touches on this long and expensive project.
Caution, cones, and traffic jams. That became a regular sight and experience for those driving a portion of Kentucky Highway 15 since 2016.
It has been kind of a long-term thing in the making, but the results should be very rewarding to the people that drive that route.
Drivers breathed a sigh of relief Tuesday morning as all permanent lane closures from lengthy construction suddenly vanished.
It feels good for us. It's a milestone, but I know that any joy that we feel about it will be felt tenfold by the people that drove that stretch of road every day while the construction was ongoing.
Allowing those that travel one of Eastern Kentucky's busy highways a chance to relax behind the wheel.
It's between 30 and 32,000 vehicles that are on that stretch of road, especially from Morton Boulevard down the hill to Combs Road and Prairie Park and back up to the bypass.
District 10 spokesperson H.B. Elkins says while the project still needs finishing touches, such as lights and signage, the majority of the work is now complete.
There will be some short-term lane closures still between now and when the project is finished. It won't be considered officially finished until sometime up the middle of next year.
Polishing off a project years in the making. In Hazard, Corey Sanning, WYMT, Mountain News.
Elkins says Kentucky 15's traffic load more than doubles that of the Mountain Parkway, making completion of this project that much more critical. A Floyd County woman and recently retired nurse who worked on the front lines of the COVID pandemic is one lucky winner today of $200,000. That you see there is the winning scratch-off ticket that the Eastern Kentucky woman won. Now get this, she was just hours into her first day of retirement when she decided to get the $10 scratch-off ticket. She did wish to remain anonymous.
Coming up, have outdoor plans late this week? Then you're definitely going to want to keep in touch with the forecast. I'll have the very latest on wet weather returning coming up.
And puppies may be the type of furry friend you want to bring into your home, but we want to remind you about our senior animals.